ZeNai Brooks with the Sunday summary, Sunday reflections, I think. Actually in the car now on the way back from South Bend, Indiana. Spent some days up there with my driver. My husband, Daryl Brooks, well, Pastor Brooks, been driving me around all week. But we had a good time. So just to recap, just going back a little bit, Tuesday, I think I was in Hendricks County, went to Danville, to their county meeting and spoke to some folks there. And then Wednesday or Thursday, we drove up to Middlebury, Elkhart County, did a town hall with the other statewide candidates, Destiny, Tom, McDermott, and Jessica were all there, and a couple other folks from the party and some libertarians there. So had a good conversation about the state of things. And then was back at Indy Friday. I had my first social hour. So if I'm in Indy, we'll be doing a couple pop-up events, either like a happy hour or a social hour or coffees. So I did that, just an opportunity for people to come meet in person, talk about the campaign, what's happening, see how they can help, which the main thing is, right now, hosting a get-together with friends or donating or something just to get the word out on why this election season, this cycle is important. So that was pretty successful. I got 3 or so people that committed to doing a gathering for me at their place. And then Saturday is really when things kind of picked up. So I was already planning to do a Spartan race in South Bend at Notre Dame Stadium. So I went up there. So I did that, and it's it was actually 4-mile obstacle course race. So we ran through Notre Dame Stadium, the stairs. They had 20 or so obstacles set up, rope climb, jumping over things, carrying sandbags. So that was fun. And then after that, my campaign advisor, Ariel, is from South Bend, so she set up a lot of things for me. We ended up going to the county fair for a little bit, so that was nice. Got to meet some people, set up shop at the Democratic booth for about an hour and a half, and then went to dinner at, I think, Cinco 5, and met up with some folks from the local county city council and some other women that are doing some grassroots work there. And then went from there to a festival in the park. It was the Vibe Festival. There were some, I think it's a lot of bands, black owned businesses, black artists. So it was actually a pretty, it was a good time. It was fun, kind of downtown. So hung out with some people there. I got to meet some more locals, hear what people care about. And then Sunday, this morning, we went to Sunday school at Ariel's church and got to speak to the group just about, again, this race, a little bit about me, why it's important, and then went to another friend's church service. So it was great. So now we're just on the way back home to kind of unwind and get ready for this upcoming week, which I have a couple meetings planned, but I'll be in Gary next weekend doing a women's conference. Was already on the schedule, so I'm doing that on Saturday, and then we'll build some campaign stuff around that too. So as you can see, things are in full swing ahead. One thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about this time is obviously the importance of this election, but a little bit about the state auditor's role, which is obviously the role that I'm running for. And there's that state finance committee that this role sits on with the state treasurer and the state budget director, which is appointed by the governor's office. And that's a pretty important role, committee to be on for this role. So the role itself is like the CFO of the state. So if anybody asks you, what does the state auditor do? It's like the chief financial officer of the state, overseeing the state's finances, paying state's bills, looking over who's the state contracting with, paying employees. But on this finance committee, that's where money is being kind of moved around within agencies and different funds. So for example, I think it was in March, there was maybe about $2.8 million, moved from one of the substance abuse and enforcement funds to another agency or another fund to help facilitate substance abuse programs, what do you call the coroner's office? When somebody passed away, the coroner's office, and they do the drug testing to facilitate those type of services. So, and this is all public information. If you go to the state auditor's website, you can see the transparency portal where state finances and information is, and minutes from these meetings. And so that's just one example of movement between funds. And sometimes it's at the direction of the governor. Sometimes the agencies or the funds may not be using all their money, so they may shift it somewhere else. So that's why this role is important too, just to have some additional checks and balances between how money is being moved around and shifted between organizations. And with the minutes, and sometimes we don't know, is why money is being moved, what they're going to do with it. So right now, with the kind of one party being the supermajority, it would be good to have somebody from the other party in to act as a checks and balance in those, and just to ask questions. So that's just a little example of the way government works, and some things that we should be paying attention to, because a lot of money that's going into the community is allocated to different state agencies to do certain things. And it's just really important that we are paying attention to which agencies are supposed to do which services, and then also holding these agencies accountable, so that our communities are affected and money is being spent wisely, and that we actually are seeing improvements in our communities. So I just encourage you guys to pay attention to those things. Pay attention to the fact that the state will probably end up with a $6 or $7 billion surplus, but then also ranks last in a lot of things like food access and healthcare and education and women's reproductive rights and infant mortality. So how are we spending your money, the taxpayers' dollars, and should we be improving the condition of our citizens as well? So just wanted to point that out. I'll try to give you guys little nuggets as I come back and recap, and just continue to educate you on what's happening, why this is important, how you can assess the information, because it's all out there on the website, and then what does it mean. So hopefully this was informative, and I will come back next week and give you another recap. If there are topics or questions or things that you would like to know about or for me to talk about, let me know in the comments, and like and share this video. Again, go to votezenai.com for the link to donate if you want to volunteer, to get on our newsletter so you can see what's happening and stay current that way as well. Thanks for listening.